Good evening. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My screen's the other way around, so it looks different. This is my first YouTube live. I've done lots of webinars. This is my first time on YouTube. So I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. We're going to be talking tonight about EFT, also known as tapping, emotional freedom technique, and how you can use it every day to create the life that you want. So I'm going to talk a little bit about me, why I do tapping. We're going to go through the tapping process, and then I'm going to tell you what to do. It's very simple. It's going to be very straightforward, and I'd love to hear from your questions, whether you're live or watching later. Do drop a comment or a like, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more YouTubes in the future. So if this is your first time learning about EFT, emotional freedom technique, I'm going to tell you first of all about why I do EFT. So when I was 21, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, put on antidepressants, and sent to see a counsellor. And this worked a little bit, but I was still having panic attacks. 12 years later, 13 counsellors, I was still having panic attacks, still highly anxious, very, very hiding it, but pretty tense inside when I was anywhere social. I would always look busy and be running around and being helpful. So I looked great from the outside, looked very comfortable, but actually inside I was pretty anxious, very tense. And a friend of mine told me about EFT, emotional freedom technique, and I went to a website called tapping.com. I watched a video, I tapped along, I could feel something changing in me, a shift in my body. And it just kept coming up, and I went on to do the training, and I was just blown away by what I saw. There was a guy who'd had a car accident in the 60s. He was there, and the trainer brought him up on stage. And when he talked about this accident, he was crying and shaking. All the trauma of that day came back into his body. You could see how distressed he was. So the trainer talked him through. He used the tapping technique. He worked through the memory, cleared all the emotional responses. This was Carl Dawson, by the way, inventor of matrix reimprinting. He took him through the technique, took him through the day, the traumatic event. And by the time we got to the end, it took about half an hour, 40 minutes. He said, "How do you feel now?" He said, "I feel like it happened to somebody else." And this guy was a hypnotherapist. He tried all sorts of processes and tried lots of different things to get this resolution and had never got there before. And that's from that moment, I've been hooked, and I've been trying to tap on anyone who'll get near me ever since, basically. I then used tapping myself with people that I met on the course. I just tapped every day for about 6 months. I cleared so much tension, so much anxiety. I got into my limiting beliefs. I started to clear and to change things. And I became a practitioner. It was such a life-changing technique for me that I became a therapist. I started giving talks, and that was back in 2010. And what's interesting is when I first started giving talks, one or two people in the room may have heard of EFT, but nobody else really knew what it was. And now most people have heard of it. And there's one or two people who haven't heard of it when I'm giving a talk. But are we using it? Are we using EFT? Are we using these techniques? It's a bit like joining the gym, paying out your monthly subscription and never turning up, never pulling the weights. You're not going to change unless you apply it, unless you use it. And the thing with EFT is it's incredibly easy to use. Anyone can use it. Once you've learned the points, that's all you need to know. You can use it on anything, literally any issue you're going through, because whatever you're going through, you have an emotional response to it. And that's where you start, with the emotional response in your body to what you're focusing on. So without any further ado, we're going to do some tapping together now. I'm going to show you the technique in a very simple way. We're just going to tap. I'm going to show you the points. And as I'm going, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So EFT is known as acupuncture without the needles. It's a process of tapping on the head and hands to move energy through the body. So you're going to start off by placing your hands over your heart and just taking a nice, easy breath. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Take a couple of breaths. Scan through your body and just notice how you're feeling right now. How are you doing? Good. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're not feeling tense or got anything going on. Then you're going to keep one hand over your heart. You're going to take 2 fingers and you're going to start tapping on top of the head. And just breathe easily. The next point's the beginning of the eyebrow. So as I say, the easiest thing is just to tap along. Copy what I'm doing. Side of the eye. And breathe. So each of the points is the beginning of an energy line through the body, as used in acupuncture. We have all these energy lines, the meridians going through the body, and each of the points that we tap is the beginning or end of one of these lines. Good. And the next point is just beginning of the collarbone, just below the beginning of the collarbone here, either side. Some people like to tap both sides. Just tapping here. And then the side of the rib cage. Nice easy breath. And then with your palm facing you and your thumb up, it's the side of the nail that's closest to you. And tapping through the finger points, breathing easily. Okay. This is how easy it is. You don't need to do much preamble. We can just dive in and start tapping, and you're starting to communicate with your body. You're starting to listen to your body. There we go. Hands back over your heart. That's 1 full round. We're going to do that again. Start tapping, top of the head. It's usually about 7 times. Beginning of the eyebrow. So as you're tapping, you might notice that some of the points feel more sensitive, some of them are uncomfortable, and you might not feel anything at all. You might also notice as you tap more and more that you start to have energy shifts in your body. So your tummy might gurgle, you might yawn, or sigh, or laugh, or cry. Excuse me, just a mention of a yawn. And these are all signs that the energy is moving in your body and things are starting to change, these energy shifts. Your body's settling out of stress, hopefully, and into rest and relaxation. And that's where we want to be to make change. We want to be relaxed. We want to be calm. So there will be links below. You can click on the link to get a tapping map that you can download. This is all you need to know where the points are. Side of the hand. There you go. Hands over your heart. Take a nice easy breath. Okay, there you go. That is EFT. So what's happening? As I say, we're moving energy through the body by doing this tapping. And what are we actually doing? Clearing blockages in the energy system. So when we're tapping, we're sending an electrical pulse through the energy line. It's clearing the blockages. The blockages are caused by toxins, so sugar, alcohol, food, everything we have around us disrupts our energy flow. Our core beliefs, so the way that we feel about ourselves and about the world, also affects our energy flow, and also traumatic events, unresolved moments of trauma, big T traumas, which are like car accidents, those big life-changing events, big T traumas, but also little T traumas can be absolutely devastating. Like if you are bullied at school every day, I mean, that can be a huge big T trauma too. But if you are disregarded or have this everyday chipping away at your confidence over a period of time, that is a very traumatic thing for people to go through and can cause deeper wounds than the big T traumas. They're sort of less obvious and go deeper because they feel more real. We can believe them because if it happens over a period of time, that must be true. So these can come up with beliefs like I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve good things, or whatever it might be for you. So what we're doing with the tapping process, we start to clear the blockages in the energy system. And you don't need to know where they come from. If you just feel uncomfortable, when you start tapping, you'll start to feel better. The energy will flow. Good. So that's step 1, learn the points. That's all you need to do, learn the points. Just tap and learn the points. Step 2, once you've learned the points, to start using EFT to impact your life, you're going to start tapping every day. And it doesn't have to be a long process. You can wake up in the morning and you can just lie in bed, sit up in bed and just tap a couple of rounds without really focusing on anything. You can just start tapping. Just breathing and tapping. It's almost like resetting your energy. I always say it's like brush your teeth, wash your hair, clean your energy. You can do it at the end of the day, maybe when you come home from work or you come in from an event. Just tap a couple of rounds. Start getting into the habit of clearing your energy as and when. If you start creating habits at the same time every day, it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it. You just come in. I've come in from my busy day and I'm just going to clean my energy. Good. So step 1, learn the points. Step 2, start tapping every day at a particular time. You can do it while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. If you're doing the school run and you're waiting outside the school, just start tapping. Good. It's this easy. It's so automatic now, I don't even really notice that I'm doing it. It's a really helpful tool if you're in a meeting. You can tap your fingers under the table. Just keep the energy flowing, because if you're tense, the energy will stop. You'll freeze up and you want to relax. And when you start tapping, the more you tap, the less you need to tap, because your body gets more and more used to letting go. This point here I call the emergency tapping point. So you can tap, you can hold the points. If you don't want to draw too much attention, you can kind of just rub the points, just hold your hand over this place, imagine tapping through the points. If you're in bed and you can't sleep, you don't really want to start tapping through the points too much, because it can be stimulating. So you can just hold this point and breathe into your heart. Good. So you know what to do, you know when to do it. The next layer with EFT is to start describing the feeling that you want to clear, the thing that you want to change. You want to describe it. So that might be a physical pain in your body. It might be an emotional anxiety that you feel. It might be how you feel about a situation. So we're going to do a physical pain today. We're going to focus on a physical pain just to demonstrate. So the first thing to do is identify the thing that you want to clear. So I'm going to use stiff shoulders and neck, something we can all relate to, I'm sure. So just imagine maybe you've got a stiff neck already, or shoulders. First thing to do is notice, what does it feel like? Is it tight? Is it heavy? Is it solid? Just bring your attention to the feeling in your neck and shoulders. What does it feel like? Is it sharp pain? Is it achy? How strong is the feeling out of 10? 10 being very strong, 0 being no pain. Does this feeling have an emotion attached to it? So when you think about this, maybe you feel angry or frustrated or anxious. Just feel the emotion that's associated with the sensation in your body. It might have a temperature, might feel hot, might feel cold, and it might have a colour. It might be made, or when you visualize it, it might feel like it's made of rusty iron or something like that. The mind will come up with these crazy descriptions sometimes, like obviously we don't have rusty iron in our shoulders, but your mind will describe it like that. And that's what we really want to get into, the description of the energy in your body. So once you have this description, which is, I'm going to use tight, heavy, achy, black pain in my shoulder, we're going to start tapping using this description. So one hand over your heart, start tapping the top of the head and repeating after me. This tight, heavy, achy, black pain in my shoulder. And you can break it down into smaller chunks. So the next point, this tight, achy pain in my shoulder. Side of the eye. This tight, achy pain in my shoulder. And I didn't. Well, I did. We're going to give it an 8 out of 10. And tapping under the eye. This tight, achy pain in my shoulder. Nice, easy breath. And then tapping under the nose, this tight, achy, heavy pain in my shoulder. On the chin, this rusty iron in my shoulder. And then tapping the beginning of the collarbone. This rusty, achy pain in my shoulder. And under the arm, side of the rib cage. This rusty, achy pain in my shoulder. On the thumb, this rusty, achy pain in my shoulder. All this tension. I can't remember the emotion I gave it. All this frustration in my shoulder. Letting it go. So I've already cleared it. I can't remember what it was. Side of the hand. Releasing it now. Take another breath. Tune into this feeling, and then we're going to describe it again. So has it gone from an 8 now to a 6? Maybe it's gone from rusty iron. Maybe it's shrunk. Maybe it's smoother. Maybe it's moved down your back. So just check in with that original feeling. How is it now? This tension in my shoulder. Oh, I can say, well, now it feels sad, and it feels pink, and it feels soft. These are the kind of things that can happen. We're going to tap another round. This pink, soft sadness in my shoulder. This pink, soft sadness in my shoulder. Side of the eye, this pink, soft sadness in my shoulder. So we're simply describing the feeling that we're having. Obviously, this is a demonstration, so you would replace it with the feeling that you're having. This soft, pink sadness in my shoulder. And you might find, you take a breath, this soft, pink, sadness in my shoulder. And as you're tapping, you might feel that the energy starts to shift through the middle of the round. You'll find yourself releasing this soft pink sadness in my shoulder. Collarbone. Just staying on the collarbone for a while. And it's good to notice that you don't need to know why you're feeling angry or sad, what's associated with the sensation in your body. You might know what it is. You might have an instinct as to, well, I know why I'm feeling sad, or I will know why I'm feeling angry. It's been a tough day. Oh, I can trace that back to, when that person cut me up in the car this morning. That's when that came in. When you start to break it down and release it, you start to get these realizations of where it's coming from. And you can just let it go. That's the whole purpose of EFT, is to help you to let go of the things that you're holding onto in your body. Your physical sensations are the most dense versions of the thoughts and feelings that you have. So there's always an emotional layer in everything that you feel in your body. Nice deep breath. You can stretch, you can check in. How does that feel now? Under the arm. This soft pink sadness in my shoulder. And on the thumb and through the points, this soft pink sadness in my shoulder. And first finger, this soft pink sadness in my shoulder. Easy breath. And you might notice my voice changes as I'm tapping. Become more relaxed. This soft pink sadness in my shoulder. 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 There we go. Good. Hands back over your heart, taking another easy breath. And again, just check in on that feeling. So now feels like a 3 out of 10. It feels very wispy, feels like threads. Checking with how it is now. The emotion now is lightness. So it's starting to become more positive. Then you can tap another round. This last remaining feeling in my shoulder. This last remaining feeling in my shoulder. This last remaining feeling in my shoulder. Anything associated with it. This last remaining thread of emotion in my shoulder. Under the nose, easy breath. This last remaining emotion in my shoulder. On the chin. This last remaining tension in my shoulder. Collarbone, releasing it now. So I quite often like to stop on the collarbone for a bit when I'm working with people or when I'm tapping on my own, because this is a good general one. You can also, what's called butterfly tapping, cross your hands over your chest, and you can just gently tap left to right, left and right. This is a really good one when you are, again, if you're stressed, if you're having a panic attack, if you're anxious. Nice easy breath. You'll feel it starting to shift. Good. And as I say, the more you do it, the less you need to do it. And then tapping under the arm, this last remaining tension in my shoulder. On the thumb and through the fingers, this last remaining tension. This last remaining tension in my shoulder. Releasing it now. This last remaining tension in my shoulder. Letting it go. Feeling more relaxed. Good. Hands back over your heart. Check in. So hopefully you've felt a shift even after 3 rounds. And that's very, that's looking at a symptom basically. So one layer is like a physical pain. It's very straightforward. I went out for a walk and I pulled a muscle, and I can clear that physical pain out of there. The next part, as I say, you can start laying emotions into that, but you can also start clearing your beliefs. You might know that you have a limiting belief or a thought that you have often, like, I can't have what I want, or I'm not good enough, or things don't work out for me. Something negative. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. People get cross with me. Whatever the thought is, you can tap on that as well. So partly that is the feeling that it brings up in your body, but you can also just say the belief. So I'm going to say I'm not good enough. We're going to do a tap around of the negative, and then we're going to tap around of the positive, of the opposite. So we're going to tap out the negative and in the positive. As I say, this is a bit of a crash course. We're just going with it, but notice how you feel when you're tapping along. Nice easy breath. Start off feeling I'm not good enough. What happens to your body when you feel that feeling? Maybe you feel heavy, maybe you feel sad. Nice easy breath. Tapping the top of the head and repeating after me. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm just not good enough. This thought that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. On the chin. I'm not good enough. Collarbone. I'm not good enough. Under the arm. All these times I haven't felt good enough. And the thumb. Part of me just doesn't feel good enough. First finger. I'm not good enough. Sometimes this feels so true that I'm not good enough. Ring finger. I'm just not good enough. Little finger. I want to feel good enough. Side of the hand. But I just don't feel good enough. Good. That's the negative. We've caught the emotion. We've got right into that, and now we're going to clear it. Top of the head. I want to feel good enough. Part of me knows that I am more than good enough. I do my absolute best, and I always have done. Under the eye. I am good enough. If I can blindly believe that I'm not good enough, then why not blindly believe that I am good enough? That feels good, to know that I'm good enough. Under the arm. I know that I'm good enough, really. That not good enough was just a story I heard. It feels good to know that I'm good enough. I am good enough. I'm more than good enough. I'm more than good enough. Feeling good. Great. So again, we can tap out, you can acknowledge the negative and then start bringing in the positive, the thing you want to replace it with. And you can, again, you're just talking to the energy of your body, you're listening to your body and you're processing any emotions that you're feeling. So when I work with a client, we would go into a belief or the thing that they want to clear, and then we trace it back into the past, the very first time you had that feeling. So I'm not good enough, for example, can go right back to maybe you're 5 years old at school and trying to remember your times tables. That can be a very stressful moment. And in those moments, you make all these decisions like, I'm not good enough. I can't do maths. Things don't work out for me. I get picked on. I don't like people looking at me. We get all these decisions get made in these moments of trauma. So I'm working with a client. I go back to those early pictures and resolve them using EFT in the picture. So you can close your eyes and you can tap on the younger version of you. You're processing the emotion. So your unconscious mind has no concept of past, present, and future. Everything you've ever experienced is happening now. So you ask your unconscious mind, when did you learn to drive? Now. When did you learn to walk? Now. It's all happening now and in the present. So when you unlock an unresolved memory, even though it happened a long time ago, the impact is all through your life and now. So you change how you felt as a 5-year-old, you change how you feel now. And we go into the past simply because as you're sort of separated from it, it's easier to process. You have the same feeling now as you did then. You can remove it then, you remove it now. So that's kind of can be a difficult concept to get your head around if you haven't thought about that before, but try it and see. So there we go. The next step, you're going to, you know the points, you're going to start tapping every day. You know what to do to focus on your body. So the next step is to get yourself a diary. You're going to have a tapping diary and you're going to focus on one thing at a time. And you want to start small. You want to start simply. So you don't want to start tackling your panic attacks at the beginning. You want to start with, oh, I stubbed my toe, or something small like a little niggle, so that you get used to the tapping process and your body starts to learn how to listen and change the emotion. So you might, at the top of your page, the diary, what's the thought or the thing, the symptom you want to clear? So it might be, you write at the top of the page, this tension in my shoulder, and then you write the description and give it a number out of 10. You tap through one round, you check in again, give it a number out of 10. Has it changed? You tap another round. So you do one round at a time, just checking in really simply. This is how I felt. I tapped around. This is how I feel now. You want to break it down, keep it really simple, because your mind will try and distract you and make you do other things, and you'll think about doing the washing up. So if you just keep it written down, one step at a time, how do I feel? How do I want to feel? And you really want to aim to get your anything emotional or painful down to a 2 out of 10 if you can. So this is tapping on your own. If you have issues, if you have difficulties, then I would strongly suggest you seek help, whether with a practitioner. You need to check with your doctor if there's other things going on. But if you want to clear things once and for all, you can just do the little stuff on your own, but your mind will stop you from going to the big stuff. So if you need to, then reach out, get help. I have 190 videos or something for you to watch, different webinars, different processes that you can use tapping to clear different situations and different feelings. So you can do a certain amount on your own, but really you need someone else with you. You can also do it with a friend. So you might have an accountability partner, someone that you tap along with, just to kind of hold the space for each other. Again, you're not going into anything deep. You just want to say, hey, I've tried tapping today and I've noticed this, just to help you to start to use the technique. As I say, get help if you need it. So you can use EFT for anything that you're going through, because you just notice, what is the first layer? When I think about the fact that I want to move house, for example, not happy where I am, but I feel like I can't move, something like that. What's the first feeling that comes up? Maybe it's frustration. So you start with that top layer. You tap through that. As you take off the layer of frustration, there might be something else underneath, maybe irritation. Underneath that, there may be sadness, there may be guilt. One layer at a time, just allowing the emotions to come up and to change. Just breathe it out. If you get stuck, take a breath. Just do it for 5-10 minutes at a time. Come back to it. You want this to be a tool that you use automatically when you get stressed out. So there we go. That is the whistle stop tour of how to use EFT. I'm going to be doing more videos in the future. If you have anything specific you want help with, then please drop me a note. I'm hoping, if anyone has any questions, I'm hoping they will come up if anyone types in anything or has any comments. Somebody messaged me earlier. Can I use it on phobias? People often ask me, can I use it for this tension or this stress or this situation? And the answer is yes, you can use it. Tap on anything. Try it on anything. If something feels impossible, then tap on that. This feels impossible. Start tapping. This feels impossible. I don't know what to do next. I want to feel some clarity. If you literally tap and talk, give voice to the feelings and sensations in your body, they will start to clear. Your emotions and the sensations want to be acknowledged. Once they're acknowledged, they can go. Their job is done. You don't have to act on them. Once you acknowledge them, they're cleared. So you might feel angry. You might want to shout at somebody. You might want to take some action. If you remove that anger, you go, well, actually, that's not going to help me. What I really want is some resolution. You start to take the edge off the emotions and get some ideas. Things start to change. You can't create something new if you're doing the same thing. You will just get the same results over and over again. So when you start tapping, you start to change your emotional state. When you change your emotional state, the things around you start to change. How you perceive things start to change. Your world starts to change. And then you get the things that you really want, because you believe that you can, because you start to feel better. And when you feel better, you connect with the things that feel good. If you feel bad, you connect with the things that feel bad. That's just how it is. Like attracts like in this world. So when you feel better, good things happen. Try it out. So there we go. Any questions? You can email me. You can drop a comment. You can text me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out all my videos. If you want to book a free one-to-one call with me, you can. My website is stressfreelifeacademy.com. You can click on book a call there. I'll do a free half-hour call. I can point you in the right direction. I can help you discern whether you need more help, or if you've got any specific questions, drop me a line there. You can sign up to my newsletter on my website as well. And of course, check out the free resources page where you can download a map of the points. You can print that off, stick it on the fridge, and start tapping. Just start tapping. And build your emotional muscle. That's what I always talk about. Like going to the gym, you're building a physical muscle. EFT, you're going to build your emotional muscle. You're going to have more capacity. You're going to feel calmer. You're going to feel stronger in your emotions. You're going to feel good. I want you to feel good. That is my purpose. So I will keep you posted with things coming next month. Any requests, please let me know. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.